Ask yourself, how big do I want to grow my freelance grant writing business? If you're looking to build up to 100K per year on your own, many freelance grant writers only need to stay within the short-term lead generation area and maybe do a couple of medium-term marketing strategies. If you want to build a larger grant writing agency, hire multiple grant writers, and potentially create an online grant writing course, then you will need to do short-term, medium-term, and long-term lead generation. Biggest questions I hear from freelancers is, how do I find clients? I've been a freelance grant writer for more than 20 years and trained and mentored hundreds of freelance grant writers. Along the way, I've learned a lot about what really works for finding and securing clients. The key is investing the right amount of time in different areas of lead generation. Lead generation might sound daunting, but it's just a technical way of saying letting people know about your services and your business. That's it. A lead is a prospective client, someone who has learned about what you do and might be interested in your clients, either now or in the future. Overall, there are 3 main types of leads based on how long it will likely take them to convert from a prospect all the way to a client. So you have a short-term leads list, a medium-term lead list, and a long-term lead list. Generating these different types of leads takes very different types of activities, which we're going to cover today. Hi, my name is Rustick, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Freelance Grant Writer Academy and the Grant Professional Mentorship. We help people replace their full-time income, working flexible hours, writing grants from home. Make sure you subscribe so you can hear all about our amazing tips and advice for freelance grant writers. All right, so let's cover number 1, finding short-term client leads for your freelance work. Short-term leads are those you get directly from your personal network. These folks come to you with a lot of trust through personal referrals. Your first clients for your freelance grant writing business or your freelance business in general usually come from short-term leads. If your freelance business is new, you always want to start by focusing on short-term leads first, as they can often turn into clients surprisingly quickly. And that's because they're warm. To find short-term leads for freelance grant writing or any type of freelance work, here are some tried and true strategies. Number 1, tell your friends and family about your freelance services and ask them to send you referrals. We often refer to this one as low-hanging fruit, since asking people that know, like, and trust you is the easiest and quickest way to get warm leads. You can reach out to friends and family with a simple note such as, "Hi name, did you know that I am now writing grants for nonprofits? I'm so excited. Would you do me a big favor? If you know any people who work at nonprofits or sit on boards, would you send an introduction email? If not, no worries. Just please keep me in mind the next time you hear someone talking about nonprofits or grants. Thanks so much." Simple and easy. I want you to do that with all of your contacts of people you know. The next thing you can do is share on social media. Using social media to talk about your business can generate both short and long-term leads. In the short term, it's something that most people can do right away. It also feeds into your friends and family knowing about your business, since when starting out, most of your followers are your friends and family. You can use your personal account even to do this. You don't need to start a new Instagram, LinkedIn, or a Facebook page for your business right away either, or ever. You can simply change your title to Grant Writing Consultant and put some posts on your personal accounts. This is good because it will nudge your friends and family members who are your warmest referrals. One word of caution though is don't go down the rabbit hole of only doing social media for marketing. You want to have time for a variety of marketing strategies to figure out what works best for you. All right, number 3. Contact nonprofits you know. This is very simple if you come from the nonprofit world, or even if you have kids, because they are sure to have some activities with nonprofits like sports, acting, other activities as well, or have ever interacted with a nonprofit. Give a call and see if you can set up a meeting with the executive director to discuss grant writing services and how you might be able to help out. For many folks in the Freelance Grant Writer Academy, their first contacts are actually with former employers at nonprofits or other places. Nonprofits almost always need grant writing support and are almost always understaffed. So be sure to cast your friends and family net wide enough to include your former colleagues with whom you had good relationships with. If you're interested in a full breakdown of how to get started as a freelance grant writer, check out our guide to starting a freelance grant writing business. You can definitely find this on our website, as well. So now let's talk about generating medium-term client leads for your freelance work. Medium-term leads can take longer to generate and fewer will convert to becoming your clients, but they are still very valuable. Luckily, there are many ways to get in front of this audience. So number one, develop your professional network. Reach out to professional acquaintances who also own or work at businesses and ask them for a swap referral call where you each brainstorm 3 to 5 people to do email introductions for. As an example, you might need a bookkeeper. So you could refer yourself to a bookkeeper in exchange for them sending an intro email to 2 or 3 nonprofits they work with. These type of warm referrals are gold. The next thing you can do in medium-term leads is collaborate with others in your field. You can team up with other grant professionals, nonprofit professionals, and other peers to be on their podcast, do joint webinars, or other types of collaborations. Working with other aligned professionals could open up the world to their developed lists in exchange for some of your knowledge. You don't have to have decades of experience for this to work either. In our Freelance Grant Writer Academy, many folks who are new to grant writing have buckled down on causes they care about and become quasi-specialists about grants for certain cause areas. They can offer a short 15-minute presentation for someone else's audience about that topic, adding value for their partner and getting in front a set of fresh prospects. The next thing you can do for medium-term leads is speak at conferences, events, or online programs. Find out what events are happening in your community or cause area and see if you can become a speaker. For example, Laura in the Grant Professional Mentorship Program, she's been a speaker at statewide events to talk about grants for her specific cause area. This has been great to get in front of clients and prospective clients and to be seen as the go-to grant writer in her cause area. Another thing you can do is host a training in person or online. Creating a grant training you can offer in your community or for your cause area online is a great way to get clients. Not only can you charge for the training, you can also pitch your direct grant writing services at these events too. People who enjoyed your training will want you to write their grants. Even if you taught how to write a grant, attendees may realize just how much goes into writing grants and see you as the expert and then want to hire you instead. I've gotten many clients by doing this. So the thing is, why would they want to hire me after they learned how to do it from me? Because they just learned, oh my gosh, that's a lot of work. I'd rather hire you. Who knows what you're actually talking about? Another medium-term strategy is to create a newsletter. First, you want to build an email list. So this would be done after you have some business cards and have started building your referral network. But you can then post on your social media channel about your newsletter that talks about specific types of grant writing or whatever you do. You can send weekly emails out to your list and have a call to action at the bottom of every single email to book a sales call with you. Another strategy is to invest in ads. You can create ads to send more people to your newsletter, training, or more. But do know that advertisements, whether on Meta, like Facebook and Instagram, in newsletters for local or state associations, in the paper or other places, can take a while to work and need continual data and refinement. I would only recommend this if you are building up your business and have made at least $50K to $100K in revenue. But if you're looking to grow your business, this could be an avenue or a route for you and could also be a business expense as well because it's advertising. All right, now let's talk about investing in long-term client leads for your business. We talked about short-term leads, we talked about medium-term, now let's talk about long-term leads in this premise are even colder than medium-term leads. This means it takes more energy and often money to reach these client prospects and convert them into clients. Because of this, long-term lead strategies are designed to generate many leads versus just a few. However, you really want to scale up your business and revenue up significantly, you will eventually need to invest in generating long-term leads. You will want to, number one, create a website. A website is so important to have as a freelancer, but it's also a long-term strategy. I see freelancers who still haven't done the short-term leads start here, and it always makes me cry out, no, don't do this yet. First, reach out to your friends and family. First, do all the other things that we talked about in the short-term list. You can literally just have a LinkedIn profile at first and a place to book clients like Calendly. You can even use Canva right now as a quick website or landing page. Why do I recommend waiting to create a professional website? It's because people often spend way too much money and time on websites instead of focusing on actually getting their first client. Do the low-hanging fruit first. And I know this from experience. The next thing you can do is learn to use SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. SEO is how you get people to find your business and your services using online searches. Once you have honed your offers and landed some clients, it's a good moment to spend time learning how to drive traffic to your website and offers. But doing SEO still takes time. When I first invested in SEO, I spent way too much money in a large corporate SEO agency. And they were great, but they weren't used to working with freelancers and it didn't really work out that well. The next thing you can do is start a YouTube channel. I love YouTube and have a YouTube channel. Obviously, shameless plug here. YouTube has its own search engine, which can help leads find you easily. However, before I had really locked down my agency systems, I also started a YouTube channel and spent way too much time developing content without a real strategy or refinement in my offers. I took a break from YouTube to really get my offer messaging down, and now I'm back on YouTube and have the revenue from clients to hire an editor and have clear messaging and time to actually create videos. This is important. Another long-term lead gen you can do is create a podcast. I also have a podcast, but creating a podcast can be an easy, low lift that isn't as expensive as hiring an editor for YouTube. Video editing is more expensive than podcast editing. I started my podcast, Grant Writing and Funding, in 2017 and have never looked back. But it is also a big project. You need to have consistent content that you create and publish. If that is too much, another idea may just be to get inside the podcast arena for marketing is just to be a guest on other people's podcasts that already do it. When you're a guest, all you need to do is show up and offer quality content and value in the interview. One of the benefits of being in my programs is that you get invited to be a guest on the #1 grant writing podcast in the world, Grant Writing and Funding. So we love that for our clients. Deciding how to invest your energy in finding clients. So let's also talk about this. The amount of leads and marketing you really need to do depends on the network you currently have and how many clients you actually want. Ask yourself, how big do I want to grow my freelance grant writing business? If you're looking to build up to 100K per year on your own, many freelance grant writers only need to stay within the short-term lead generation area and maybe do a couple of medium-term marketing strategies. If you want to build a larger grant writing agency, hire multiple grant writers, and potentially create an online grant writing course, then you will need to do short-term, medium-term, and long-term lead generation. But be careful that you don't spend too much money too soon on your marketing. You don't need to pay high-end premium prices for all of these items before you get clients. Instead, start with a low-hanging fruit, and then if you want to build up more, slowly do so by using the business profit you have already secured in your clients. If you're interested in learning more about how to start a grant writing business, check out our Freelance Grant Writer Academy. Our program is one of the fastest and most reliable ways to learn how to replace your full-time income with part-time hours by writing grants. Go to grantwritingandfunding.com.